Thank you to all my channel members, including my fan appreciation level members and my contributor level members, for helping support the YouTube channel. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book Hide the Lightning by Kevin Steverson. This is a book in the Salvage Title Universe. The Salvage Title Universe started with the trilogy that has the Salvage Title, Salvage Fleet, and Salvage System. I've read and reviewed all those books on the channel if you want full reviews. Basically, I really enjoyed Salvage Title and Salvage Fleet. Salvage System was okay. I didn't love it. And so was a fan of the series and wanted to keep reading with it. And so I did get a copy of Hide the Lightning, which is the first book in it's like a standalone in the universe. It's setting up things. It's kind of continuing on storylines, but it's not part of like an official trilogy or anything. It's just a novel in the Salvage Title universe. And so I was really excited to read this from the series, and I was hoping as a standalone it would, feel a little bit different. And it does. You feel very much like you get a pretty good complete story. I would say you get a good complete story with all three books in the original trilogy too. But this book is takes place when the salvage system is still growing. They're still bringing in more people, and it's about two stories that happen at the same time. One is that there's this new group of aliens, the Taylor, who end up wanting to become part of the ground forces for the salvage fleet, the salvage military, and these are humongous aliens, and so they have to make mechs that fit these humongous aliens. But the main story itself of this book is around this kind of insectoid, but also kind of like bee-like creature, alien species that decides to invade this peaceful planet that is unprotected in the salvage system. And so when that happens, of course, our main character, Harmon Tomaral, and the rest of the salvage title fleet and crew and a whole system rallies to go and free this planet. And it very much follows the kind of the formula that the other books have, where things are going pretty good. They're even growing everything in the salvage system, but then an enemy attacks a planet, and our main heroes have to go fight that enemy. And then the book ends with some sort of kind of Deus Ex Machina, save the day type situation. And so it follows a formula that the other books established, and I think did pretty well generally. And one change that to the formula that I really liked was that we got to see the ground forces. These ground forces, we got to see a little bit of them, not a lot, a little bit. And so the beginning and the end of the book was actually pretty entertaining, about as on the level as the Salvage Title trilogy. I enjoyed the first 60 pages. I enjoyed the last 50, 60 pages. So the book had a pretty solid beginning and end. But the middle completely broke apart for me, because the whole middle portion of this book is basically an extended sequence, or sequences depending on how you look at it, but an extended sequence of space battles. And that just in general doesn't work for me. But it really doesn't work for me when I don't understand the ships, and there's so many of them, and there's so many species and so many characters and so many things happening at once. I even have struggled with Star Wars space battles, and I know all the characters there. I struggle with other stuff, and I really gave it a shot. And sometimes the space battles worked okay. I thought the space battle in the first book, Salvage Title, was pretty good, and kind of worked for me, but mostly because it had this frantic pace of moving so fast. And one thing I particularly liked about the first two books, Salvage Title and Salvage Fleet, was that it just felt like the action was just moving us so fast, that if you didn't like the action sequence, you just propelled forward into the next thing. But because the action sequence is basically like half the book, it really made it not work quite as well for me. And it just felt like he was slowing down too much. Ironically, a lot of the detractors of the Salvage Title universe say, hey, you go too fast, you need to slow down. And usually what we're talking about is character development. We want to slow down, get to know the universe type thing. Instead, when he slows down, it's for the action. and we don't get as much character stuff as we could. I still liked what we got with some of the character stuff. The head of the battalion, the ground forces, I think it's Nathan Brink, I think is his name. He was fascinating as a character. We get to see some stuff with Harmon and Clip and Janine and Barut. The human AI relationships, and when I say relationships, I mean like dynamics, the way they interact is fascinating. Fascinating. That's by far the most entertaining part of the books for me, the whole series. But it's just that was a very small piece of this book, and so when the majority of the book just kind of falls flat, it just kind of leaves just a sour taste. And thankfully, the book starts and ends well. Not top tier, but it starts and ends at like a 7 or 7.5, maybe even an 8 at some points. But the middle was just so bland and just unappealing. And it could be, well, I'm not saying that the space battle was written poorly in that, the tactics make no sense or anything. It's just that it was so long for such a short book. And it was just so, there was too much, I would say there was too many ships, too many pilots, too many characters that you were trying to remember and keep track of. If he had very much decreased the POVs and decreased the scope of the battles, I think it would have worked a lot better. But overall, this book is just a fine book. It's not a great book. It's not a terrible book. It gets like a 6 out of 10. It's just okay. So that's my opinion on Hide the Lightning by Kevin Steverson from Theogony Books from Chris Kennedy Publishing. If you've read Hide the Lightning, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.